Attention!
I'm Sarah Winkless, and now we're looking at a heat of the Britannic Challenge Cup, Aberdeen University against Vesta, and they're under starters' orders.
Attention! Go!
And they're off to a clean start. The Britannic Challenge Cup, Cox 4, so they've got steersmen on board, and it is Vesta Rowing Club there that are taking the early lead against Aberdeen.
Strong start there from Vesta. In the bow, Harry Bond, 2-seat Richard Lear, 3-seat Simon Woodfine, stroke Patrick Linden and Cox Martin. Great start from them.
It's great to see these extra power that these athletes have. We've got the Cox on board, they've got a little bit more weight to move, and you start to see the drive through the legs, Sarah. What are you noticing?
Yeah, look, the crew from Vesta just looking very dynamic, very aggressive. Obviously, as you mentioned, that little bit of extra weight on board makes this boat just run a little bit slower. It doesn't run quite as smoothly and for as long as the 4 without a Cox and the Coxless 4. So it takes a lot more aggression, a lot more power, and we see typically bigger athletes, bigger, stronger athletes rowing in the Cox 4 than the Coxless, and really relying on a lot more power on board because the boat just doesn't run as efficiently as the Coxless 4, and certainly we can see that is a fine display there from the Vesta crew, looking quite strong in this early stage with just an ever so slight lead over Aberdeen Boat Club.
And Aberdeen, as we have a look there, we've got Richard Hills, Tom Little, Gary Wilson and Ian Walker with their Cox, Robert Hamilton. They've come down from Scotland, and they've been out on this course over the last week, and they'll be giving everything they have at this stage of the race. But they have met a strong crew in Vesta, semi-finalists last year, I think, at Henley.
Yes, they last raced as a full crew boat in 2007 in the men's quadruple sculls, so a very different boat class, the men's quad to the men's Cox 4, of course going from sculling with 2 blades and no coxswain to a sweep boat with 1 oar and a coxswain on board, so very, very different boats to row. And just being outclassed by the very strong Vesta Rowing Club at this stage, who were semi-finalists in the Britannia Challenge Cup at Henley in 2014 and semi-finalists in the Whitefold Challenge Cup at Henley in 2013. So again, some seasoned athletes. We've seen a lot of very experienced crews racing at Henley, and having raced here myself, and I'm sure for you as well, you do learn more and more about this course every time you come here, and it's not as simple as just getting on a still stretch of water and belting down the course. There's a lot to know about this course. There are currents and there are eddies, and it's a very tactical and technical race, and we're seeing the experienced crews really start to step up, and I think it's for that reason that the more times you come here, the more times you row on this incredible piece of water, the more you learn to master it. But I think that you could come here any number of times and still learn some lessons.
Oh, I think so, and it's absolutely a unique opportunity. We've talked about the booms, those hard wooden sides of the course, which really can intimidate athletes, but Vesta, a tideway club, used to lively water, and it's pretty quiet out there today. It's Wednesday morning, but the water will get more and more disturbed as the week goes on, and just looking at the pictures, I'm noticing that there's a fair amount of wind out there, which I think will be welcome to the athletes to take off some of the heat.
Yes, certainly that breeze is alleviating the heat. The sun is very strong out there at the moment, but it is a bit of a slight head breeze, which always makes life a little bit tougher, especially when you're carrying a coxswain on board, so the boat's already a little bit heavier, and then rowing into that head breeze makes the race just a little bit longer, and we can see that it does tend to open up the field a little bit more, which is why we're seeing a little bit of a bigger margin here. But it is the Crew A, or the A-ranked boat from Vesta, so we're not surprised to see them performing the way that they are. They are a very strong group of athletes. But Aberdeen, they were forced to go through the qualifiers, so they've already done some racing out on this course earlier in the week. But a very strong performance from them, really giving it everything that they've got to try and get through to the ever so crucial next round, but really not able to match it against a polished crew from Vesta.
That's right, and we're watching a heat of the Britannia Challenge Cup. There's 8 of these today, and as you say, you know, it's every day it's somebody's final. They turn up here, they go through the qualifiers or go straight into the draw. and this is where it all starts to go. They either turn up and win, and they're here tomorrow, or they'll be de-rigging in a few minutes.
That's right, it is really a brutal progression. You know, it's not like fleet racing where you might have a repechage after the heat, so you get another race, another chance. You turn up and you put everything on the line in every race, and some crews get through to the semi-finals effectively having raced a final just to get there. So it's a very, very difficult regatta from that perspective, that you don't know necessarily what you're going to come up against, and you have to put it all on the line to try and get that ever so crucial progression position.
Fantastic, and what we're looking there is Vesta Rowing Club. They are making sure that they're keeping their technique together as they go through the crowds. The crowds appreciating their efforts. Harry Bond, Richard Lear, Simon Woodfin, Patrick Linden, and Mr. Martin, their coxswain. He will be calling them in and making sure they keep it together.
Looking very strong as they come past the enclosures there. Big, strong finishers pushing the boat away as they come down towards the line.
And there they go through. We're going to see them coming past the last stand through the finish line. And it's Vesta Rowing Club that beat Aberdeen Boat Club in that heat of the Britannia Challenge Cup.